Well, good morning, everybody. It's wee Paddy from across the shuck, and I've got a bit of eye candy for you. This is some of my favourite knives. They have one thing in common, and that's titanium. And I hear people saying that titanium's boring, they're tired of it. Do you know, titanium has so... Look at the colour, the rare colour down there. But also, they mix materials now with titanium, and that's what I enjoy about it. But I was sitting just having a look at what knives I've got in titanium, and this is most of them. There might be the odd couple more. I have a lot of smaller knives, not much smaller than a Z2, the little small ZT, which is just a gorgeous little useful knife. But what I thought I'd do today is something I don't do very often, and that's, like, there's all my titanium knives there, per se. What I forget to do is go back and do reviews, long-term reviews on the older titanium knives that I have, or any sort of older knife. They tend to be forgotten, but I'm a collector. I love taking them out and looking at them just as much as I do my new ones. So, I mean, if I've kept them in my collection, it means I like them for a reason. So, what I'm going to do today, I'm going to pause you for a second. I'm going to bring you back, and I'm going to discuss maybe 4 or 5 of the older knives I've got. Do I still like them? Why I kept them in the collection? And just a little chat about them to see whether they're worth it, because they're knives you can buy on the second-hand market, but they're also knives, a lot of these knives, like the Two Sons and things like that, you can buy on AliExpress, and you can buy the exact same knife for a fraction of what they cost when they first came out. So, and Kaiser are the same, that you can get them on the Chinese websites that are just cheaper than when they first came out. So, we'll have a little chat. I'll bring you back, and we'll see what you think of some of my older titanium framed knives. Now, that's it back again. And I have chosen 6 knives that I just want to just quickly run through and just say what I like about them and why they stayed in the collection. And first of all, I wanted to start with one that's a titanium hybrid, if you like. It's got a titanium frame, the titanium backlock there, or backlock frame lock. But it also has a carbon fibre front side, show side. Now, this is one of my oldest knives. So look at the titanium on that there. Look at the way it's cut. Look what they've done to it, the shaping of it. That is a modern knife that would quite happily work its way into anybody's collection now. And this is from GearBest about 3.5 years ago. It's the HX Outdoors. I believe you can still get them, but you can get them on the secondary market or whatever for buttons. And it's VG10, titanium, carbon fibre, front flipper, thumb lock. It has got everything it needs. And this is a Tanto version. But look at the grinds on that. Look how sharp and precise they are. This is not just a thrown together cheap Chinese made knife. This is a lovely knife, and it stayed in my collection because it weighs nothing. There's no weight in it whatsoever. I don't have many Tantos, so I always like to keep a Tanto in the collection for any sort of reference point, and this is just the perfect one. It literally, I think it weighs under 3 ounces or somewhere about 3 ounces. It is just a beautiful looking knife with carbon fibre that's not just flat. When it first came out, a lot of carbon fibre was just flat in this pattern, but they carved into this and they left it open, and I think they made the better knife all for it. Perfect little knife. It really is. Lovely back spacer. And for a knife that's 3.5 years old, look at the grind on the back of that. Can you see that? There you are. You can see, look at that there, the milling on the back of that. Isn't that just beautiful? I mean, the work that went into this wee knife is just phenomenal. And now, I'm sure you can pick them up for peanuts. But a beautiful knife. The VG10 blade, yeah, not the best in the world, but as a nice wee knife. This is a collection knife. I don't tend to use it very much. And that's the honest. Most of these knives are not used a whole lot. They're in the collection for a reason. There's one of them that's being used quite a lot at the minute, but we'll get to that anyway. This is just a knife that I want to keep in my collection because it's a good knife. Not because it's new, not because it's the latest fad, just because it's a really, really good knife. And that's familiar with all these knives. They're knives that I like because they're just good knives. I have so many knives, I can't get round them all. So, and that's not as a show-off sort of way, but you have, I mean, as a collector and a reviewer, you amass a lot of knives, but I like to keep ones that are a little bit different. None of these you'll see are exactly the same. In fact, most of my titanium knives are not the same. Most of all my knives are not the same. So there we go. That's the first one, the little HX Outdoors. If you see them about any of their models, I had quite a few of them in my time, and they are beautifully made knives. Really well done. So there we go. There's number one. Here's another one. Again, this has been in my collection for about 3 years. A lot of these were gifts as well. So this is just a stunning little knife. This is the Kaiser Shoal. No, it's not the Kaiser Shoal. This is the Kaiser Sliver. The sliver. Look at that. It's obviously it's a long sliver of a knife. It is absolutely stunning. I love this sunburst. From the day and hour I got this is a gift. It is just the most beautiful looking knife. Again, I don't tend to use this is an Instagram knife. I love it when I used to do quite a lot of pictures. In fact, I think I must start going back and doing pictures of older knives on my Facebook. It's beautifully comfortable. You have a sneak up there. It's S35VN, titanium frame, pocket clip. It's just everything you actually need in a knife. I mean, it's a useful knife. It's long and useful if you're a letter opener, parcels, things like that. But it's just a lovely knife to have in your collection that when you take them, and I love taking my knives out and just sitting looking at them. And this one I've never tired of in 3 years, never once tired of it. And I'm sure you can get, in fact, I do know on AliExpress, they do this same knife. Again, cheaper now than when it came out. So you're getting a real bargain knife. And there's nothing old-fashioned about this. It isn't a knife that you're going to think, oh, God, that looks a bit dated. It just doesn't. It's a beautiful knife. And they do different colours. This is just a bright orange, which is beautiful. There we go. Another knife that will not leave my collection because I like it. Now, here's another one. This is one of my I mean, most of these are all 3-year-old plus. This was a Tucson. I have no idea what the number is on it. I'll have to be honest with you. No idea. But look at that. Tell me that is not a stunning looking knife. Yes, I don't use it a whole lot. Not because the grind is horrendous, because it's not as easily sharpened. It's a compound grind. Before compound grinds were even really a thing, it's got a mad recurve. Before people really liked, I mean, recurves are started making a slight comeback at the minute. But look at that titanium handle. Is that not just beautifully done? Again, a cheap knife. It was cheap at the time. AliExpress still sell them, and they're for buttons. When I say buttons, probably about 30 quid would buy you this knife. It's got D2, and it's good D2. It's titanium frame, lovely milled pocket clip. Just look at everything about it. Again, look at these grind lines, how sharp and just so well made. I mean, we know what Tucson's modern knives are like. Their older knives were no less better for it. They were lovely. Beautiful fuller up the side here. This is just a knife that you can enjoy. And it is a comfortable knife in hand. I mean, I've a medium large hand. Absolutely beautifully comfortable. And if you wanted to use it, the sharpening isn't that hard. Get yourself a set of sticks and you can sharpen that recurve, and you can do that in your stones, whichever. But it's just a real beautiful design that's years old. And again, AliExpress. I know these are, I'm sure Tucson have got, in fact, I know Tucson have got stores now in the States that you can buy their knives and buy some of their older knives. But you can get them on eBay, you can get them all around the world. There's different places to buy second-hand knives. This is a stunning knife, and I have a little baby smaller one in titanium, but it's only a wee toady thing about this side that goes with it. It's exactly the same body colour, and they're a great pair. So there we go, another Tucson knife, beautiful. And the second, this is another second Kaiser that I have, which I just think is stunning. This is a Kaiser Shoal, and these were, I think they were, maybe they weren't a limited edition, but it's the smaller of the two Shoals. Although I get a full grip, medium large hands, I get a full grip on that absolutely beautiful little work knife. Really is just the perfect size, about 4'3", which is always my favourite. Slight recurve, but it doesn't really matter when you can actually nearly take that away. I need to, although it's one of those knives I've had for such a long time, but it's timeless. Because of the grey titanium, it does make it timeless, because they're still making just plain grey titanium knives now, which I haven't felt the need that I need to go and buy in this shiny Kaiser covering. But it's a really comfortable knife. You're not going to slip on it because of the way that handle just locks you in completely. But a beautiful, look at the blade on that. Look at the belly you get with that knife. That is just a stunning little work knife that will do a bit of everything. M390. Again, it's over 3-year-old. M390. So you've got a perfect blade steel for the modern day now. So this was a really expensive little knife in its time. It was top of the range with M390. M390 was just sort of hitting the market when this came out. Beautiful knife. I'll not leave my collection. Again, this was a gift too. Stunning little front flipper. Beautiful frame lock. Everything about it excellently done. Kaiser have been good for years, and this is as good as their modern knives. In fact, I think they're remaking this again, if I'm honest. I'm just not 100% sure, but it is a beautiful little knife, again, in the collection for a reason, because I like looking at it. And here's probably one of the most famous knives that I have in titanium. This one was anodized for me, the pocket clip, look at this. It's just stunning. And it doesn't matter what era you bring this knife out, it looks good. This is the ZT450. Absolutely beautiful. 0450, I should say. One of the best flipping actions ever. The detent, everything about this knife is just amazing. It is a stunning everyday use knife. They're still available now to buy for a reason, because they're still every bit as good. Lovely hollow grind on it, beautiful grind lines, beautiful shape. It comes in just basic grey titanium, but you can anodize it whatever you want, and that's the joy with titanium, that you get this standard of anodization, and that's been there for 3 years. Do you know what I mean? That anodization has been there for 3 years. Again, I don't heavy use my knives because I don't have so many that I can't get round using them all, but this is one that constantly comes in and out of my carry. I just love carrying this, and especially if I'm going somewhere like a wedding. What a beautiful knife to have in your pocket. Again, people know I'm a knife person, so they're going to ask you, and this is just a joy to bring out. And age means nothing to this knife. This is one of those forever knives. This is your 940. This is your Spyderco paramilitary. This will always be a knife that I think, you know, if you're a collector or you're a reviewer, you want this in your collection. It's just timeless. Beautiful, beautiful knife. One of my favourite all-time knives, because the action, everything about it is just modern. Whatever year I bring it out, it's still relative. So there we go. Now, my last knife that I'm going to show you is not old to me, but it is an older model, which it is hard to get now. I was blessed that a friend of mine, British EDC, got this for me, and I was able to do a trade with him for it. He had got 2, which is rare. This is titanium. This is the most beautiful, there we go, NC600, but it's a Spyderco Pits. It's just stunning. It's UK legal, which makes it special to me, because I can carry this. Do you know what I mean? I can't carry this, but I can carry this. Look at the difference. There's that wee ZT. I can carry this, but not this. Now, how crazy is that? How crazy. That's our laws in the UK. But as a knife, is it the prettiest knife in the world? No, I don't think it's the prettiest knife in the world, but functionally, it's absolutely brilliant. When you push down and you're holding this knife won't close. It will not close. So it's virtually a locking knife when I hold on here. It's just and the grip is just beautiful. But that's a solid. I really look at the pressure on my thumb. I am really pushing that. It won't close. When I've got my thumb on top here, it's as good as a locking knife. And that the Italian N6, what is it, N? I can never remember. 965 or so. I can't remember. N960. Oh, Stephen, that's terrible. But it's not a a long-lasting blade steel, let's put it like this, but it takes a wicked edge, and this is a really thin behind the edge knife. Great slicer, great just for everyday use. Lovely deep carry Spyderco pocket clip on it. Just gorgeous, just gorgeous. So that would be one of my favorite little older, it's an older model. And it's the one that I probably now at this minute, I use this quite a lot because I can carry it everywhere. I don't have to think what's in my pocket before I go out the door. I put this in the morning and I know I can go anywhere with it because it's legal. So there you go, folks. I hope you enjoyed that little run through some of my knives. And I'm going to do this with more of my knives, I think. It's nice to get the older models out in all different categories and just have a little, just bring them back into the highlight again. And that most of them are available. You just have to look for them. And rather than spending, this little knife was near 200, I think, when it came out. And now you could probably pick that up between 60 and 80 pounds on the internet in various places. But a beautiful knife. So there you go, my friends. Take care. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you very soon for another video. Bye now.